Okay, this is a wrap-up of mitosis here. We'll run through the rest of the slides. A couple of things to keep in mind here. Okay, cytokinesis, not considered to be part of the M phase, not to be considered part of mitosis. Okay, cytokinesis is the separation of the cytoplasm, cytoplasmic division, and that's whereby the cell splits into two identical daughter cells. All right, cytokinesis again occurs at the same time as the final stage of mitosis, telophase, is occurring. All right, so division of the cells there. All right. New cells. And again, one of the big points to drive home here when you're going to be comparing this to the production of sex cells is this is every other cell that can divide except for a sex cell. So identical cells here that we have going on here. All right. Remember, talking about here's a little way to remember things. As far as mitosis is concerned, you've got the cell cycle interphase, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. You can put a C down there. IPMAT-C. IPMAT-C is all forms of that. And one other thing that sometimes you are asked, so I can't say for the regions because there's no regions, that I'm going to ask because now you have to do my final exam. Okay, never mind. All right, a couple of pictures here. You've got a picture of each phase in an animal cell of mitosis, and there is a mitosis lab activity coming next week for you to identify these things. You got each phase in a plant cell to be used. All right. And in an animal and a plant cell, how do they differ? Because it's not the same. Remember, in a plant cell, there are no centrioles. But in a plant cell, there still is spindle fibers emanating. There is a centrosome region. So if you're looking at this picture, this is a very good picture to use. During telophase, an animal cell forms what is called a cleavage furrow. And that is an indentation, whereas proteins will actually then begin to pinch the cell membrane in. All right, a cleavage furrow is formed, and a cell membrane, the cell membranes separate. So when the furrow, kind of pinching it in, when it meets in the center, the cell becomes completely pinched off and two new cells are formed. Not as easy in a plant cell because after anaphase, you need to make actually new cell wall. So what happens here, taking what we've learned early in the year, you have carbohydrate rich vesicles form a row at the center of the cell, right at the metaphase plate or the equatorial plane. These vesicles fuse together, and an early cell plate is formed. Okay, begins to form. And remember, the cell wall is made of a sugar, so it's made of cellulose. All right, the cell plate extends outward and fuses with the cell wall there, and that is going to then eventually divide the cell into two new cells. Cleavage furrow, animal cell, cell plate, plant cell. All right, you have that there. Pictures here. These are my formation pictures. There's your interphase, prophase, metaphase. All right. Sorry, interphase, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. Interphase, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. Pictures here, sort of like the lab. All right. So that's our end slide.